All right, example number 8, where we have a few different convertible instruments. So we have December 31st, year one. Yes, we're given some information. We have bonds worth 5.9 million. They mature December 31st, year 4. They're $1,000 each, convertible to 16 common shares at a 7% interest rate. Then we have 3.2 million at 4%, 54 common shares conversion. We have cumulative preferred shares at $4. Okay. We have one preferred share, the convertible preferred shares at $4 dividends, no par value, convertible at 1 preferred shares for 5 common shares, and there's 107,000, and that's worth 2.675 million currently. Common shares, we have 2.5 million outstanding. We're told our net income after tax is 5.5 million with an income tax rate of 42%. And both classes of bonds are outstanding for the entire year. And so were the preferred shares. And we're told the weighted average number of common shares outstanding was 2.4 million. So we're told those different pieces. All right, so let's move on to basic. So our net income of 5.5 million, shares of 2.4 million. You have to remove the preferred dividends. How we get that is the fact that there are 107,000 shares, $4 each. So our dividend amount owing to the preferred shareholders would be 428. So we have a $5.1 million attributable net income in our basic earnings per share divided by 2.4 million gives us a rate of $2.13. So now, before we get into this section, we need to go through and say, okay, what would the conversions look like? So the first item is our $5.9 million bonds, which is 5,900 $1,000 bonds. Converted into 16 shares each would be 94,400. The interest paid, 5.9 million, 7%, 413. The after-tax rate being 58% because you're going to pay 42%. But for the after-tax savings would be $239,000. So if we take our net income divided by the number of shares for this conversion, we have an earnings per share of $2.54. And because that's higher than our basic EPS, it is considered anti-dilutive. We will not include it. Moving on to the bonds number 2, we have a $3.2 million or $3,200 bonds, 3,200 $1,000 bonds convertible to 54 shares, which is 172,800 shares. The interest rate on these ones are 4%. 58% is your net income. So our after-tax savings will be 74,000. So our earnings per share on this conversion will be 43 cents, meaning that it is dilutive. So we will include that. Moving on to our preferred shares. First of all, we wouldn't have to pay the dividends if they converted. And how we get that is the 107,000 outstanding preferred shares convertible to 5 common shares each. So we'd have 535 common shares. So our EPS impact would be 0.8 cents. Therefore, it is also dilutive. Now, before you apply it to the earnings per share, you need to rank them lowest to highest. So the lowest is bonds number 2. Second would be your preferred shares, and we will ignore the bonds. Now that we've ranked them, we can come back up to our preferred share, our EPS, our earnings per share calculation. So we'll apply the bond implication for bonds number 2 first. So we'll add back the 74,000 of net after-tax interest. We'll add in the 172,000 shares. So our adjusted diluted EPS is down to 201. We would then do our preferred shares, add back the dividends not paid, add the common shares now issued, and our earnings per share continues to dilute, so we would include it. Therefore, the diluted earnings per share is $1.80.